Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's good to be back with you again, bringing a message after my 2 weeks, 11 days away in Florida, Southwest Florida. It was a great time for Linda and for me. We were with Linda's sister and her husband in their beautiful home in Venice, Florida. There was white sand and blue water, beaches. They are members of a boat club there, so a couple of days we went out on pontoon boats in the inner passage between the Keys and the mainland, boating around, watching the dolphins, watching the seabirds. It was really lovely, and it was good to have a break. We also went to the Everglades and did an airboat ride, which I'd never done before. And I was shocked, surprised to discover that the Everglades were not mangrove forests as I'd expected, but rather largely grassland. But again, we saw lots of wildlife. It was really, really great. It was also interesting to be in another place, in another context, and especially for me being around almost exclusively a Caucasian world. I missed the rich blessing of our diversity here in Sacramento. There was also a greater resistance there to mask wearing and social distancing. And we had some anxious moments as we were flying because there are a lot of people flying now. The first plane we were on especially was very crowded, and people seemed to forget about social distancing. But we had a good time, and it was good to have time away from the crazy routine my life is here back in Sacramento. Today is the first day that everybody 16 and older has access to a vaccine. I suspect that I don't need to be encouraging anyone watching this message, but if you do need some encouragement, please do get vaccinated. It's not complete security, but it's really good. And whatever side effects people have, and there are side effects for many people, it's worth it. Dr. King reminded us that nobody is free until we all are free. There's a sense in which nobody is immune from COVID-19 until everybody is immune. And I'm particularly pained to know that while we're doing well in the United States, there are still 120 countries around the world where nobody has had a vaccine as yet. That needs to change. The whole world needs to be vaccinated so we can be protected from this virulent virus before it mutates anymore. The last 2 weeks have been tempestuous weeks in the life of our nation, with racism and gun violence taking center stage. African Americans, Asian Americans, Sikh Americans. There have been so many gun deaths, homicides, suicides. And I have to say, to me, it just makes no sense, having grown up in a culture and a community where there were no guns. I just don't get it, why everybody needs to have guns. I understand shooting for sport, but it seems to me that guns bring so much violence, and I'm particularly concerned about suicides. The rest of the world just doesn't understand the insanity of gun violence in the United States. And we don't understand, we're not understood around the world in terms of escalation of police violence. Policing needn't be like that, and in most other places in the world it's not like that. I do believe, too, that the depression of COVID-19 has only added to the stress that police officers feel and everybody else feels in tense situations. So we need some healing. If you needed reminding, and I'm sure you don't really, there is a much better way, and it's the way of Jesus Christ, the way of compassion and care. We as people of faith reach out in compassion, we listen, we de-escalate, we show respect and care for each other. We believe that being involved in policing a situation needs containment often, and then waiting by police officers rather than rushing in with guns drawn. Jesus said, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love each other, love your enemies, love generously, turn the other cheek." He says, we're done with the old an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. It's love now. The beloved community does keep everybody safe and everybody knowing that they are loved. If we're to build real peace and compassion in the world, we have to begin with ourselves. Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to make all of our walking a meditation on compassion, upon reflecting on our own lives. Many of us, I know, are walking for exercise, but he reminds us that even in our own home, as we walk around the house, there are opportunities for meditation. I want to read some of his words. This is from his book, No Mud, No Lotus. He says, when you walk to the bus stop or from one room to another, make it into a walking meditation. Even if your surroundings are full of noise and agitation, you can still walk in rhythm with your breathing. Even in the commotion of a big city, you can walk with peace, happiness, and an inner smile. This is what it means to live fully in every moment of everyday life. This is something that is possible to do. Walking in walking meditation is walking just to enjoy walking. You don't have to desire or to arrive anywhere. Walking and not arriving, that is the technique. And you enjoy every step you make. Every step brings you home to the here and now. Your true home is the here and now, because only in this moment, in this place called the here and now, is life possible. Every step you take should bring you back to peace, to the present moment. The miracle is not to walk on water or in thin air, but to walk on earth. Walk in such a way that you become fully alive and joy and happiness are possible. That is the miracle that everyone can perform. I perform that miracle every time I walk, and you can too. If you have mindfulness, concentration, and insight, then every step you make on this earth is performing a miracle. And I invite you to join me in prayer. This is a prayer from Philip Newell. In the busyness of this day, grant me a stillness of seeing, O God. In the conflicting voices of my heart, grant me a calmness of hearing. Let my seeing and hearing, my words and actions, be rooted in a silent certainty of your presence. Let my passions for life and the longings for justice that stir within me be grounded in the experience of your stillness. Let my life be rooted in the ground of your peace, O God. Let me be rooted in the depths of your peace. Amen. May your walking this day be grounded in that peace of God. Amen.